Breaking: Arsenal complete £75 million. Bruno Guimarães deal. Vinícius Jr. rejects Gunners. Welcome back to Arsenal Fans Focus Media, your home for Arsenal transfer news, breaking updates, transfer rumours, player analysis, and all the biggest stories surrounding the mighty Gunners. Arsenal fans, today we have a transfer story that could completely change the conversation around Mikel Arteta's squad. One of the biggest names repeatedly linked with Arsenal is Bruno Guimarães. And now reports and online speculation are once again suggesting that Arsenal could be pushing hard for a major deal involving the Brazilian midfielder, with figures around £75 million being discussed. At the same time, another major story has captured the attention of supporters: speculation surrounding Vinícius Jr. and the possibility that the Brazilian superstar could reject an Arsenal move. Two huge names, two completely different transfer stories, and one enormous question: could Bruno Guimarães become Arsenal's next blockbuster signing while the Vinícius Jr. dream fades away? Let's get into it. The Bruno Guimarães bombshell for Arsenal supporters. Bruno Guimarães is not a new name. His performances in the Premier League have made him one of the most admired midfielders in English football. He combines technical quality with physical strength. He can recover possession, he can progress the ball, he can create opportunities, he can dictate the tempo, and perhaps most importantly, he has experience playing at the highest level in the Premier League. That makes him an extremely attractive profile for a club like Arsenal. Mikel Arteta wants a team capable of controlling matches. He wants players who are comfortable under pressure. He wants technical quality throughout the pitch. And Bruno possesses many of those characteristics. The £75 million question. The number being discussed in the latest transfer speculation is enormous. £75 million. That would represent a major investment, but Arsenal are no longer operating like the Arsenal of several years ago. The club has developed into a serious Premier League title contender and a regular Champions League competitor. With that progress comes greater expectations. Supporters don't simply want Arsenal to qualify for Europe. They want trophies, they want Premier League titles, they want Champions League success. And to achieve those objectives, the squad must continue improving. A player of Bruno Guimarães' quality could potentially provide another level of midfield control. However, there is an important distinction between a reported fee and a confirmed transfer. At this stage, supporters should treat the £75 million figure as part of the transfer speculation unless Arsenal or Newcastle United officially announce an agreement. That's why Arteta could love Bruno. Imagine Arsenal trying to break down a deep defensive block. The opposition has 10 players behind the ball. There is very little space. Arsenal needs someone who can receive possession, turn under pressure, and find the right pass. That is where Bruno's technical ability becomes important. He can operate between the lines, he can play forward, he can switch the ball, he can support attacks, and he can also contribute defensively. This versatility could make him an interesting option for Arteta. Bruno and Declan Rice. Now comes the really exciting part. Imagine Bruno Guimarães alongside Declan Rice, two powerful midfielders, two players capable of winning possession, two players comfortable with the ball. Rice could provide defensive security and physical power. Bruno could offer additional control and progression. And ahead of them, Martin Ødegaard. That midfield combination would give Arsenal an extraordinary mixture of defensive strength, technical quality, creativity and leadership. It would give Arteta multiple tactical options. The dream Arsenal midfield. There, let's imagine a huge Champions League night at the Emirates. Declan Rice wins the ball. He finds Bruno. Bruno turns away from pressure. He plays the ball into Ødegaard. Ødegaard looks up. Bukayo Saka is making a run. One pass. Saka receives the ball. The stadium rises. Cross into the box. Goal! That is the kind of football Arsenal supporters dream about, and adding another elite midfielder could potentially make the team even more difficult to control. Then comes the Vinícius Jr. story. While Bruno Guimarães is generating excitement, another story has created disappointment among some Arsenal supporters. Vinícius Jr. For years, the Brazilian winger has been one of the biggest stars in world football. His speed is incredible. His dribbling is spectacular. His confidence is obvious. And his ability to change a match makes him one of the most dangerous attacking players in Europe. Arsenal supporters have naturally dreamed about seeing him at the Emirates, but transfer dreams don't always become reality. Could Vinícius reject Arsenal? Reports and speculation have created discussion about Vinícius Jr.'s future and whether an Arsenal move could ever happen. But supporters need to be careful here. A player being linked with Arsenal does not mean negotiations are complete. A reported interest does not mean a bid has been accepted. And a transfer rumour does not mean the player has agreed personal terms. That is why any claim that Vinícius has officially rejected Arsenal should be treated as unconfirmed unless there is an official announcement. Still, the possibility creates a fascinating transfer story. The dream of Vinícius at Arsenal. Imagine Vinícius on the left, Bukayo Saka on the right, a world-class striker between them, Martin Ødegaard behind them. The Emirates would be electric. Vinícius could provide explosive pace. Saka could provide creativity and goals. Ødegaard could control the attack. It would be an incredible attacking setup. But football transfers are rarely that simple. Sometimes clubs must move on from one target and focus on another. And that is where Bruno Guimarães becomes even more interesting. A possible change of priority. If Arsenal cannot secure a major attacking target, could the club instead focus its resources on strengthening midfield? That is where the Bruno Guimarães story becomes significant. Arsenal already have quality attackers, but adding another elite midfielder could provide Arteta with even more control. A stronger midfield can influence every part of the team. It protects the defence. It controls possession. It creates opportunities. It supports attackers. And it helps the team maintain pressure throughout a match. Arsenal's bigger mission. This isn't just about Bruno Guimarães. It's about Arsenal's ambition. The club has spent years rebuilding. Arteta has developed a squad capable of competing with the strongest teams in England, but the final step is always the hardest. Winning trophies consistently requires incredible depth. It requires quality substitutes. It requires players who can perform under pressure. And it requires competition for places. If Arsenal want to challenge for every major trophy, strengthening the squad is essential. Why a £75 million midfielder would send a message. Imagine Arsenal officially announcing a £75 million Bruno Guimarães deal. The reaction would be enormous. Fans would celebrate. Football media would explode. Opposing supporters would immediately debate whether Arsenal had overpaid. But the bigger message would be clear. Arsenal are serious. Serious about the Premier League, serious about Europe, serious about building a squad capable of competing at the highest level. A signing of that magnitude would create enormous expectations. Because the Emirates waiting for a new hero. Picture the announcement video. The Arsenal badge appears. The screen goes dark. A Brazilian flag appears. Then the words, "Welcome to Arsenal." The Emirates erupts. Bruno Guimarães walks onto the pitch wearing the famous red and white shirt. He raises his arms. The supporters roar. It would be one of the biggest moments of the transfer window. But until that moment arrives, supporters must wait for official confirmation. Transfer rumours can change in hours. This is perhaps the most important part of today's story. Football transfers move incredibly quickly. A deal can look close in the morning and collapse by the evening. A player can be linked with one club and suddenly join another. A reported bid can be rejected. Negotiations can continue behind closed doors. That is why responsible transfer coverage should distinguish between reports and confirmed facts. The Bruno Guimarães story is exciting. The Vinícius Jr. speculation is exciting. but neither should be treated as completed business unless officially confirmed. What would Bruno change? If Arsenal did sign Bruno Guimarães, his influence could extend far beyond one position. His presence could allow Arteta to rotate his midfield more effectively. It could provide additional competition. It could allow different tactical formations. It could give Arsenal greater control during difficult matches. And perhaps most importantly, it could provide another elite player capable of performing when the pressure is highest. Arsenal versus the Premier League's best: Manchester City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Tottenham. The Gunners are watching, the fans are waiting, and Arsenal's next big transfer story could be just around the corner. Don't miss the next update. If you enjoyed this Arsenal transfer special, make sure you like the video, subscribe to Arsenal Fans. Focus Media, turn on notifications, comment your opinion, share this video with another Arsenal fan. Every subscription helps the channel grow and allows us to bring you more Arsenal transfer stories, rumours, analysis and breaking news. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting Arsenal Fans Focus Media. And remember, the rumours may change, the transfers may change, but the passion for Arsenal never changes. Come on, you Gunners! Arsenal Fans Focus Media, your home for the biggest Arsenal stories.